Friday afternoon on independent television and radio. The program is Hitches and Voices. My name is Kingsley Okoje, your usual anchor on the program. And as usual, my sign language interpreter for today is Cynthia Godwin. Let me, before I go into the nitty-gritty of today's program, let me start by apologizing to our ardent followers and viewers on television that for quite some time, 2 editions now, we've not been able to come on air. But thank God we are back now to do what we know how to do best, which is, of course, talking about disability, creating awareness on issues concerning persons with disability, not just in Edo State, but in Nigeria at large. And today would not be different as we focus our attention to NAPVID. NAPVID, of course, is the sponsor of this program, Hitches and Voices. And NAPVID is Network for the Advancement of People with Visible Disability, a non-governmental organization based here in Benin City, Nigeria, that is advancing the rights of persons with disability. NAPVID has embarked on a very noble project, and our guest for today, who's to talk about this, is indeed a noble man. He's the program officer for NAPVID, and he'll be taking us through what NAPVID is trying to do to support the Edo State Disability Commission. I'm talking about Mr. Isaac Noble. Welcome to Hitches and Voices.
Thank you, Kingsley. I'm grateful.
All right. Like it is with NAPVID, one of our core mandates, like I said in my introduction, is to advance the rights of persons with disability. And for quite some time, NAPVID participated in several activities, calling on the Edo State government to do the needful by passing a law for persons with disability. That was done, and NAPVID was not satisfied. Together with other sister organizations, we pushed for the Edo State government to set up a commission for persons with disability that would drive the implementation of the law. And kudos to the current governor of Edo State, Senator Monday Okpebholo. He set up the commission to implement the provisions of the law. But the commission is in place now, but I'm sure NAPVID is still not satisfied. NAPVID has started a project to support the Edo State Disability Commission. And I want my guest in the studio today, Mr. Noble NAPVID, who is the program officer for NAPVID, to take us through this project.
All right, thank you so much, Kingsley. I want to especially greet our viewers at home. Compliments of the season to everyone. Yes, NAPVID currently is implementing the project, capacity building for justice providers in handling vulnerable groups project. It's a project that is with the support of the Rule of Law and Anti-Corruption Programme, ROLAC, implemented by International ID and supported or funded by the European Union. It's a very short project, just about 2 months, but one of the aims that we have for this project or goal is to achieve the strengthening of justice sector providers, particularly mechanisms, justice mechanisms in the states to be more inclusive and provide more accessibility for persons with disabilities in accessing justice in Edo State. But particularly at the tail end, when we did that proposal, the commission was not yet on board. So as soon as the commission came on board, we saw a need to retwork the proposal, and thankfully, ROLAC gave us that open door to rework it. And one of the things we want to achieve, which is very critical for us right now, is the strengthening of the newly established Edo State Commission for Persons with Disabilities. So part of the things we're going to be doing in this project within these next 2 months is to strengthen, we call it institutional strengthening. Yes, institutional strengthening of this commission, of the members, and of course the officials, and to ensure that this commission is able to receive the needed support to carry out its function as a commission that is representing persons with disabilities in the Edo State government. And I would want to say that so far we've been able to achieve some level of results already, though the project just began December 1st. But so far, one of the key provisions that we saw in the law, the Edo State Disability Rights Law of 2022, is that the commission is to function with the support of what we call ex-officials. That is each of the relevant MDAs or necessary MDAs that's to work with the commission are supposed to designate a senior staff member to serve as an ex-official in the board of the commission. And so when this project came on board, we needed to do a training or a workshop where these ex-officials will be on ground. And so what we did was that we began to mobilize. We wrote to the HOS, and then right now we have these ex-officials currently mobilized to the commission. That is a plus for us because before now, that was not there. All right, so but through this project, we're able to mobilize, and this commission right now has expanded its board to include these ex-official members. And just last week here, we had the first 2 days workshop training to train the commission and, of course, these ex-official members on what is required of them to function and to push the commission as a regulatory body to truly achieve its objectives for which it was set up for.
You just said something that's very striking. You mentioned the objective of the commission. How significant is this training? How will this training help members of the commission to effectively achieve the implementation of their mandates?
Thank you. You see, the commission, like I stated, is a newly set up commission, so they are still at the very base level, all right? And giving them the needed support right now is all that is required, okay, to function effectively. Yes, the government has done their part by establishing a commission, but if you notice, during the just concluded International Day for Persons with Disabilities, on the 5th, we organized, in collaboration with the Commission and NAPVID, NAPVID organized the 14th Rights Above Charity Lecture. And what the theme for this for the lecture was from establishment to effectiveness, making inclusion the heartbeat of governance in Edo State. So that signifies that we know that government has played its role by establishing the commission. Right now, what we are looking at is to see how this commission can be effective. So the training we did last week was a 2 days workshop to train. We got the consultant to train the commission and, of course, the ex-official members on the statutory role as a commission. And one of the outcome or output from this 2 days workshop is the development of the operational manual for the commission. You know, for example, these are baby steps we are taking, especially as a commission, the commission level. So we are helping them take that step, like we're like providing a guide, all right? So one of the outputs is that we've been able to achieve the operational manual, which is being fine-tuned currently as we speak. All right, and also I want to also let you know that just the previous week before the December 5th, December 3rd program, we were able to even achieve the simplification of the Edo Disability Rights Law of 2022. It's still under this output from this same very project, where the law is being simplified so that the common man can access the provisions of that law without needing a learned colleague to decipher the content of the law. Yes. So that is part of the things we are trying to achieve. And one of the things you will see that at the end of this 2 days capacity training that we did, there was increase in knowledge, all right, on the part of the commission on their statutory role, and also what is expected of them as per the public, and at the same time too, the part that is very important for them is to understand their regulatory function, all right, as a commission. And one of the things that we help them guide their operations was the operational manual, which, like I said, was developed in that workshop. So you see that it's a whole robust program that at the end, in the next 1 year, 2 years, you will not believe how much we would have achieved by this foundation that is being laid.
You talked about an operational manual, which is one of the key documents or one of the fallouts from the 2 days capacity training. I also know that you are working towards developing another document, which is a strategic work plan for the commission, but we'll talk more about that. We'll go on a quick break now. Don't forget the program is Hitches and Voices, coming to you courtesy of Network for the Advancement of People with Visible Disability, NAPVID, a non-governmental organization here in Nigeria. We'll go on a quick break now. We'll come back. We'll continue our conversation with our guest, Noble NAPVID, a program officer with NAPVID. We'll be back. Back from that very short break. If you're just joining us, the program is Hitches and Voices. Don't forget, our conversation has been with Mr. Israel Noble Isaac, a program officer with NAPVID, and he's been having conversations with us about NAPVID's intervention or NAPVID's support for the Edo State Disability Commission to strengthen the commission, to enable the commission fulfill its core mandate. And before we went on break, he was talking about helping the commission develop a operational a document that will help them function very well. Like I said before we went on the break, you talked about a strategic plan. Why do you want to help the commission develop a strategic plan?
All right, thank you. Thankfully, we have a government that's very supportive of the commission since its establishment. And one of the things that we also say is the outcome, an outcome for the commission since inception, is that for the first time they were able to defend their budget, and for 2026 fiscal year they will be operating with a budget. All right. So we, as a development partner, NAPVID, we see the need that it is important that they don't just implement programs or projects, but they have a policy drive. All right, so that's why with support from the ROLAC program, we are able to, that will be in January 2026, we'll be having a 3-day strategic planning workshop with the commission members and of course the ex officials who have just been inaugurated into the commission to develop a 3-year strategic plan and a work plan for 2026 based on the budgets that have been submitted already to the states for the commission, so that it will be like strategic plans are like roadmaps. They show you direction. They direct you on projects and programs that you do. Is a policy direction. All right. So the strategic plan we are looking at is that it's going to be for 2026 through to 2028, which of course also in addition, like a cherry on the cake, will also be including the 1-year work plan, which is for 2026 for the commission. So that at a glance, even if they are going to be desiring partners to join them to push through with the strategic plan, it will be easier to bring partners on board, to be easier to bring, all right. Yes.
I don't want us to be too academic with this program so that an average listener can follow properly. But the essence of all of this is to ensure that the commission functions optimally and deliver on its core mandate, which is to provide for the welfare and to protect the rights of persons with disability. I believe that's the essence of all of this activity. But let's go back to the ex-official you talk about. I believe these are members of various MDAs who will be working with the commission to achieve its mandate. And I like the fact that you are carrying various members of each ministry along. But I just want you to speak to the specific. Why is it important for these ex-officials to be part of the commission, to understand what the commission is doing so that they can implement it at their various ministry? How important is this?
All right, you just answered it.
I want you to expand on it.
You just answered it because their involvement play a great role. One, at the beginning stage, when you are part of those laying the foundation, you're able to contribute meaningfully to the raising of the edifice. All right. So in this case, the ex-official coming on board right now at this ground level is very critical. They understand where the commission is and where the commission is going. And so, as representatives of these various ministries are on board, for example, Ministry of Justice, one of their rep was available throughout the 2 days workshop. When he goes back to the Ministry of Justice, his role, his responsibility is to ensure that all the programs the Ministry of Justice will be carrying out henceforth should be inclusive. It should have a disability component, because disability is a cross-sectorial or multi-sectorial issue. All right, and therefore, talking about access to justice, for example, talking about accessing the maybe family courts or whatsoever, he understands the concept, because the truth is that you can't advocate for what you don't understand. So if they are on board, they understand the concept, they understand the idea from which persons with disabilities are speaking from. And so when they are at the implementation or policy level in their various ministry, they can make meaningful contributions. So, okay, I'm representing this group in this capacity, and I can speak for them in this level. Can we make this program more inclusive? And how do we do it? You will now see them bringing ideas. Okay, we can do it this way because they already have ideas. They've been trained on how inclusive programs should look like.
Oh, beautiful. So, for example, maybe someone, an ex-official in the commission who is a staff of the Ministry of Information, for example, if there's a policy to carry out a campaign or an awareness creation, he's going to speak for the disability community to say, look, we must make this campaign more inclusive.
Thank you.
Because sometimes we see campaigns on television, on radio, and they are not inclusive enough. They don't carry the deaf community along. You do jingles, there are no sign language interpreters to help the deaf community understand what you're talking about. If there's an epidemic now, how is the deaf community going to be aware? So such ex-official will help break down, unbundle these policies and ensure that they are more inclusive, they are more disability friendly. That's a good one. Let's look at you say it's a 2 months program.
Yes.
So at the end of these 2 months, what does NAPVID hope to achieve with this project?
Thank you. I will just run through the line of project activities that we have planned out, so that when I speak to the result, it will be clearer. So, especially to our audience out there. One of the things we want to achieve primarily is to increase access to justice.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes. For example, strengthening the commission is in a way improving access to justice because persons with disabilities will have better representation, both at the government level and also at the monitoring level, where you talk about regulatory, functions. All right. Also, we want to see that the current law, Disability Rights Law 2022 of Edo State, is simplified. Like I mentioned, we are simplifying that law. We've done the validation session just earlier this month, the 3rd or 2nd, I think 2nd of December. And part of that, what we did was to validate the simplified version of the disability law. And after we are done with the, final editing, we'll be producing even braille versions and other large print versions so that it will be available for, the various clusters to access. That's one of the things we want to
members
achieve.
of the public in general.
Yes, of course. Even the digital copy will also be made available for anyone to access it in a simplified language. All right. And secondly, we are looking at conducting a research. All right, on inclusivity of the Edo State Civil Service. All right, because we believe that the current state of the Edo State Civil Service on inclusion, all right, there's no data backing. Though we know that the government have tried, the government have tried by employing, persons with disabilities. Just recently, after the 14 at Above charity lecture, you could see that the governor gave direct appointments to one barrister Kindness Idahosa into the Ministry of Justice. That is applaudable, all right, and. We through this project want to strengthen inclusion in the Edo State Civil Service. And one of the ways we want to do this is through data research, where we can say, okay, this is where we are. All right, this is how far, this is what is commendable from what the Edo State government has done, and also make recommendations. How can they improve? Because it's not enough to employ, it's not enough to bring persons with abilities into this space to work, but are there reasonable accommodations? All right, are there accessible buildings? These are things that we are looking at in this research, and it's going to be, we will make the findings public so that the members of the public can also have access and also even use it to make decisions, informed decisions moving forward. Then thirdly, we are looking at also this strengthening of the commission. We've talked about it already, the professional manual, and of course the strategic plan for 3 years that will cover the commission's operation and that will strengthen their operations as a commission. Then also we are looking at a case where we're also going to be creating awareness. For example, this program we're having now is an awareness creation program. Of course. So we are creating awareness not just on the project itself, but also on disability issues, how front burner issues are perceived, all right, by the general public, and how they can better position themselves, in responding. You need to respond right when it comes to disability issues, all right, because that's why we are creating that awareness to ensure that there is deeper understanding. So part of the results we want to see at the end of this project is that there is increase in our awareness, one on disability law and of course on disability related issues when it comes to access to justice. And also, let me also skip this also. One of the critical components we also see in here is that there's an intersection of disability and sexual and gender-based violence. Yes, there's an intersection, because most of the times, most of these vulnerable persons are persons with disabilities, but they don't speak because they don't have a channel through which they can speak. So part of this we're going to be doing this project also is that in next year, January, we're going to be training SAC workers. All right, it's part of this project. We're going to be training SAC workers in Edo State on inclusive practices in handling sexual and gender-based related issues. Yes. We're going to be doing that, and part of the result one will see is that we'll have more inclusive practices. For example, earlier this year we did a research. When we were doing some of our findings, we find that at the state level in the SAC center, they don't have a database disaggregated by disability. So they agreed to us
to take count of persons with
Thank you.
disabilities
Yes. So they agreed. Thank you.
Yes.
They agreed to us that persons with disabilities have been violated. They've come to report, but in their database they don't have that, because in their case form, disaggregated by data. So that's part of the reason why we are doing this training also, to strengthen that provision.
All right, we'll continue this conversation. It's quite an intense one, and it's obvious that the program officer for NAPVID, Mr. Isaac Noble Israel, has a lot to say concerning this subject. We'll bring him on again to expand more on this conversation, but unfortunately we've run out of time to continue the conversation today. Like I said, we'll stay on this topic and expand on it. It's a wrap for the program today on Hitches and Voices. I'd like to thank you for following us on the program, and for our listeners on radio, thank you for taking our time to also listen to the program today. We'll do this again next week. Till then, my name is Kingsley Okoje, saying spot the hitch and be a voice.